Hi everyone, this is Eric again with lobicomservices.com. Coming at you with the last video in this here first part series, and I actually condensed it down. So there are about 19 videos in this first part of Access. It's the beginner series, and so hopefully you enjoyed that. If you want the second part, go to make sure you click on the subscribe button to check out the new videos coming up and get to my playlist, the Microsoft Access tutorials. So this last video is on what can I do for Access database maintenance. Well, good question. So in this video we're talking about what is the Access database wizard, how to import data into Access, copy database objects, Access database backup, and compact repair. So anyway, here we go. So this right here is just when you open up Access and the different items that you can choose from. You could choose a standard template, like an asset track. These are just some Microsoft given templates, and you probably you can get some good ideas from these, how they went about structuring them. And if you're wondering how to structure your own database, you may want to consider looking at the way Microsoft structured theirs. Some of these are very cool. Home inventory, time card, lending library, blah 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 blah. So they have all kinds of stuff. Now finding what you're looking for. Okay, hopefully you're connected to the internet by now. You can go ahead and I'm just going to choose one of these. So students, bang, and so what it does is it creates everything for me. So here I'm creating a database. Boom, and let's see what it's going to give me. Let's see what it's going to give. Please wait. Oh, you probably don't see this. Here. Please wait while Microsoft Access prepares the template for use. Again, if you are finding value in these videos, make sure you click the like button. Make sure you click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff. And if you need me to help you or advise you the right way to go with your database, hit me up on lobicomservices.com contact. And it's going to be done. Again, we're talking about the students. One of these templates, and this is considered the database wizard. What is the database wizard? It allows you to create a database quicker and allows you to use one of the predefined templates that Microsoft prescribes. Somebody must be in Microsoft land thinking of all these different templates, and they pay them to do that stuff. So that's nice. Okay, great. Wow, this is pretty cool. So all these tables are created for you, queries are created for you, filters, freshman, sophomore. I wouldn't say. I mean, I guess you could use these, but I would just get the idea and create my own, because it probably has 90% of what you want out of the box, but there's 10% that you need to add, and trying to figure out how they did their stuff is kind of cumbersome, and then it's going to take a lot of time. So attendance, oh, this is not it. You don't want to see those. So filter details. Get these cool things. Go to Guardian Lens. This is dialogue. Welcome to the student database. see what this is. I think this is a video. Oh, no, it links to a website. You don't see it. It's on my other screen. So it links to this website. Not the black screen, but support using the desktop database template. So that's kind of cool. Look at that. And connect with Microsoft community, blah, blah, and see the final level. So all these cool looking reports here. All right. So anyway, that's kind of cool. That's what is the Access Database Wizard. Well, it creates some cool little things. So great. Next on our list is, let's say we have a blank database that we've created on our own, and this is just one that I created that's just blank. It doesn't have anything in it. We want to import database objects into it. Kind of the thing that we're going to cover a little, like in a couple of minutes, is compact repairing. So see, you already have data in here. A database gets bloated after you've used it. The more used, the more bloat. So you need to compact and repair it. File and then compact repair. So it's really easy. You want to do this once a week at least, or maybe more than that. Just when you see that, you know, the size of the database. Like this size is 500 kilobytes. So if we see that get to like 1.5 megabytes or 50 megabytes, we really didn't do anything, you know, it probably has a lot of dead space. Kind of like if you have to defrag your hard drive. You've used it a bunch and you got a lot of trash on it, it bloats, a lot of space, and you want to defragment it and bring it down to size. Take out all the wastes, fat, and space. Okay, so here I have my blank database. I want to bring some information to it, so I say external data, new data source, and I could bring it from Excel, HTML file, XML file, or text file. Maybe you have data in another database. Okay, that's what we're going to do with ours. If we're going to just say, okay, we have data in another database, and we can import, or we get a link to it. We want to import those objects and browse to it, browse to where the file's at. And my file is going to be in this folder right here. And let's say, yeah, donor to donation tracking. You can get the whole database at vbahowto.com. So if I can import my tables, I can import queries, I can import forms, I can import reports if I had any, or I can import modules. So without typing it over again, and especially, okay, let's say another instance is, let's say your database shell, this database is old, and it realizes, well, it's failing me all the time. Well, maybe it's time for a new shell. So create a blank database and import all your old objects into the database, because you may have thousands of lines, records, and you don't want to retype all of them. So just import everything. If at last resort, you could just go ahead and create your tables, and then send all that data to text files, which gets rid of all formatting, and then import those text files into your database. So that's more work, but it's very possible. And if you do have a real bad situation, on your hands, you may want to consider doing that. Here we're just importing different objects, and here we're importing one object, well actually two tables and one query. And notice that we got this box that pops up. You want to save the steps. No, we're just going to do it at one time. So here I imported this table. So all my data and TBL donors, and here's my parts name thing. Oh, I don't have that table, TBL donors parts. So I can't import, I can't run the query, but that's okay. Notice how the size increased to 644 kilobytes. Still, it's still okay. What I found is most of the space in a database are not the tables, but it's the forms or imports and the queries which take up a lot of space, and the code. So I may have a backend of, I think one database I manage is the back end is 56 megabytes, but the front end is 310 megabytes, some ridiculous number, and there's because it has a lot of junk, but it still operates pretty smooth, so I don't bother to get rid of the other stuff. But it's it's all these extra things that are all the fluffy stuff, like the forms and reports. Copying database objects. So if you're doing a big process on a particular table, well, what happens if you mess up? And if you update a bunch of these zip codes and they're wrong, well, then you're hosed. So what I would do is you can right click, make a copy of your table before you update it. Copy, right click, copy, right click, paste, and copy of it. Now if you make a mistake on the table, if you make a mistake in your update, at least you could fall back. You could delete this one. Press delete, yes, and yes. Okay, and then go back to it. Okay, now you have a backup of it. So you copy database objects. You do that with your tables and queries, and I would recommend doing that with anything like you're going to do an update on, or you're going to modify the design, and it saves some time too, so that you can always go back and, rather than redesign the whole thing, just go to your backup. Maybe make a timely backup, because I've had databases where you're working on a form, and then you may work an hour on a form, and then all of a sudden it didn't work, and then you're like, well, man, I just lost an hour's worth of work. So this way you can back it up every 5 minutes. Let's say, maybe that's overkill, but you could theoretically do it every 5 minutes and then back up to, then if the backup from 5 minutes ago still works, well, then you at least you save yourself 55 minutes of time. So you can just modify whatever happened between 5 minutes and now, which is probably not a whole lot. Okay. So hopefully you get that, and maybe it resonates with you. So if you don't, click down there and put it in the comments below. If you're going to be doing a compact repair, go ahead and make a backup of this in case the backup or repair, the compact repair messes up. Back up your database, then open up the original and compact it and repair it. This should be done weekly. Okay, do it weekly. Compact repair. Make sure everything opens correctly. Yeah, it does. Does. Great. Notice the size difference here. 480 kilobytes. So the old one was that amount. Make a folder here called backs. You can put it somewhere else in your network drive, and then copy this one. Okay, then we know that it was copied on 1147. And then we go here and I delete the backup, and I can open up the original. I've made a backup of the database. The Access is a file database. It's a file database, so it can be stored on the file. If somebody deletes it, hopefully they don't, but if they do, it's gone. Okay, try again, because I have it open right now. But if somebody deletes it, it's gone. That's where your backup is, and it comes in handy, because you can just back up. You say, oh, I have a backup, most recent one from A3 at 1147, which is about a minute ago. But the most recent backup, it helps if somebody does delete it. Make sure your backup is somewhere else in the LAN, preferably in some cryptic location no one else knows about except you. Great. And backup this compact restore, compact repair. Comes down errors too. Sometimes you may open up a database and it really freaks out, except you, of course, and says, "Oh, the database is incorrect." You see that it's in a corrupted state. Well, with the newer version of Access, you could just repair it, make a backup above your file, and go ahead and repair it. And it won't be it'll say, "Are you just attempting to back up?" Okay, that's you want to repair it, attempt to repair it. Yes, go ahead and do that. So that fixes your problem. If not, you're gonna have to import the objects. Last resort, put it into a text file. Put the data in the text file. If that doesn't help, then go back to your backups somewhere that hopefully you made consistent backups over the daily backups or hourly backups, or minute, 15 minutes, depending on how frequently your database is updated. And you can use one of those. So leave your questions in the comments below if you have any questions. Thank you for your attention, and hopefully this helps. Make sure you thumbs up, thumbs the video, and subscribe to the channel. And we're going to go on to more advanced topics in module number 2. So stay tuned. Bye bye.